So after doing all your request for proposals or request for X, we say in general, depending on the context. So once we would have supplier in place, you have selected the supplier, right? Now it's the time to sign the contract. And how we would sign the contract? With the help of a document called purchase order. So this is a written document, or these days, we are living in digital era. It can be a computer generated document, right? The most important thing in this document, along with the other details of quantity, quality, name, address, the very important thing is the serial number. Every purchase order would be assigned a number. A buyer or a purchasing company, when they would generate a purchase order, they would generate a number which would be specific to that purchase order. So all details would go there, right? When this purchase order is generated, along with this details, to validate this details, lot many documents go with that, right? What is a license, or the GST related documents. So many documents which are legal abiding documents are attached with this purchasing order. And after this document is generated, when this document goes to the supplier, and then supplier also reads all the terms and conditions, and if supplier agrees to those terms and conditions, supplier would sign, and once both parties would sign the contract, then only this becomes a legal contract. So this is the purchase order. The purchase order number becomes, your tracking number, right, for all the subsequent transactions. Okay, it is very, very sensitive, right? So you can say that, see that, the other things, provisions to guard the buyer from damage suits, rejections, right? All these clauses can be added in the purchase order. So after purchase order is signed, then the transactions start happening. So you just follow up, right? Why follow up is needed with the supplier? To ensure that supplier has understood our requirements, suppliers would abide by the due dates. But sometimes you need to expedite also, to be on time, to meet original delivery promise, to deliver ahead of schedule, to speed up delivery of delayed orders. So this can be reasons like, why buyer company or purchasing company has to expedite, right? Once your goods are transferred, there is a next activity is receipt and inspection. Okay, as I said in the last session, as and when we are proceeding step by step, right, keep your brain busy thinking how you are going to make it effective and efficient. Okay, because when we would be discussing the role of technology, digitization, right, with digital platforms, so I would seek, your suggestions, right, which you would be thinking now. So when you would receive the goods, just imagine a company receiving tons and tons of materials every day. You can see Walmart, you can see our retail shops in India, right? So what quantum of goods they are receiving every day from hundreds of suppliers, and see how much workforce is involved, what kind of activities are involved, what even if one truck delivery has little bit of like, maybe wrong delivery or incorrect material, what we are going to do. It's a very it's the receiving of goods is a very responsible, it's a job of responsibility. Once you would accept the goods, and if something goes wrong, you cannot claim for any incorrect material or insufficient quantity. So what we have to do, we have to confirm that the order placed has actually arrived, And how would you check that, whatever I have placed, I have received the same? How you are going to check? Let's check who we are listening to the steps or not. How you are going to check? So purchasing section is in the office. Where would you receive the material? In which you will receive in the store, right? Or maybe the docks which are dedicated for your inbound logistics, you would receive material there. Now how would you check? How would the receiving person check whether they have received what has been ordered? How would you check what is received? Can you get into the truck and start counting the cartons?
And bill of lading is also provided.
Yes, bill of lading, very good. So we will discuss that. That means we need to connect. So first we need to check.
Bill of lading.
Yeah, bill of lading. Who will give the bill of lading?
The supplier actually.
Supplier will?
They provide, the one who receives it, they get the bill of lading from the supplier.
Yes, they would get bill of lading from the supplier. So when it would be given, when products is received?
When they receive the product at that point of time.
At that point of time,
Yes,
but where would be supplier? Huh?
It's, yes, the delivery person actually normally.
Delivery person? So
Not
this will be a supplier or the
No,
transportation carrier.
Transportation carrier actually.
Exactly. So you see that whenever material will be received, it would be sent by supplier using some transportation carrier and it would be received by the buyer. So there are three entities involved. So ideally every entity should ensure that the right product has been supplied through right transportation provider to the right buyer at right place at right time and so many rights. But how would we ensure? Okay. So bill of lading is given by the transportation carrier, right? So what would come from the supplier side? Supplier side, material packing slip. Invoice would come later. First I need to ensure that the products which I have ordered, I have received the same thing. Once as a purchasing manager or a purchasing company, once I am ensured the products have been received as per requested, then only invoice can be generated. So this is the receiving thing. Okay. So the buyer has to ensure, the purchasing company has to ensure what they have ordered, the same thing has come, tally the purchase order, right? So you see here the activities. Vendor is sending the product goods. So at the receiving station in the purchasing company or buyer company, they will check if PO listed on the package. That PO tally with, because PO document is a common document between supplier and buyer. So receiving section can check that, and if it is yes, acknowledge the receipt of goods. Just acknowledge, still we have not accepted. Okay, acknowledge the receipt of goods and then check the material packing slip which has been sent by the supplier. So what supplier is, so according to PO, whether supplier has sent everything, this is provided by the supplier, and in between there is no inconsistency happened, we will check with the bill of lading. Bill of lading might not go in very detail that what is there inside cartons, right? So bill of lading, the carrier would be responsible of what has been loaded in the carrier's presence. Bill of lading, and then at that point of time only, you see here, if PO is listed, not listed in the package, send the request to purchasing for correct PO. Internal check you will do, and if PO is correct, but there is inconsistency in the actual material received or with the PO and packing slip, generate discrepancy report then and there. This is very important. Okay, when all these things are satisfied, then only you should go for invoice clearing. Okay, now just imagine, companies like, this big retail giants, right? In India we have Croma, right? They are doing the transactions, hundreds and hundreds of transactions every day. Okay, how many invoices they are generating, how many purchase orders they have, right? Now you can relate to what I've said, efficiency and effectiveness. There's a huge scope for people who are specializing in supply chain to contribute to make it more efficient or effective. If not supply chain, if you are ITES or you are providing digital services, there's a huge scope, how you can provide solutions for such business functions to make them efficient and effective, right? So keep thinking, keep innovating, right, about all this thing, right? So this is a really not an efficient process to do manually. So now many things have already moved over internet, through email, through many software systems, ERP, many are on cloud, right? But still long way to go, right? Still managing hundreds and thousands of invoices, right? Which are in a form or in different templates provided by so many suppliers, or it can go other way around, right? Many suppliers going to one plant, or there are many plants like, dealt with same supplier, right? So you, in supply chain we can see that, this can result in handling so many forms in different template or different standards. Okay, that is, there's a huge scope for I would say, like, the digitalization to come in. So this is once why we need to do invoice now. We have to claim against the buying organization. So we have already seen in PO item wise whatever details are there, price, unit, quantity. So again, we would take reference of purchase order while generating invoice, and then electronic fund transfer would happen. The last but very important step, right? First of all, this is just one transaction. It would continue, right? Maintenance of records and relationships. Okay, most of the companies, they forget to keep note of all the performance criteria, whether product was delivered on time, price was correct as given in PO, material is of good quality, was there any delay. So such kind of things are mostly not recorded, right? This is a continuous evaluation. This is another very important step for the improvement of this whole process, because even if it is one time supply, in future you might need to select and go for supplier identification, which is a very costly affair. If you will keep maintaining the records of how supplier, how you are managing that supplier, it would be really good and effective process for the subsequent ordering, right? We generally say that supply risk management. Okay, this is one of the activity, right? Risk is something like, other than natural disruption, which can happen anytime, that is not in our control. But other operational risk, they always give some signal, some indicator. Slowly quality is going down. How would you get to know? If you're not recording, you would never ever get the signal. Okay, so this is very important, to measure the performance of supplier, right? so that you can arrive to such kind of decisions, whether the relationship is developed, damaged, repaired, ended or initiated, right? So record everything for the supplier, details about the transaction, and then performance, as I've told you, track it for continuous measurement, and identify opportunities of improvement, right? So this bill of lading, this material pack slip, these all are now done in a digital manner. Like hardly any company, there are instances people are using the paper, but it is all moving towards digital. Okay, so this is all about supply process. Okay, we have learned many steps. Broadly, the steps will be followed in all the transactions where predominantly B2B environment purchasing happens. Okay, business to business, right? So with this, we would end this session of supply process.